She has no trespassing signs on the property. The ex-girlfriend that hadn't lived there for a year comes back into the house with her new boyfriend.
With her new boyfriend.
Into the house.
How did I know he was coming back in the picture, dude?
Yeah.
Hey, ma'am, your daughter's been cheating on me. Get the F out of my house. That's the line. Like. So what'd you end up selling the house for?
1.75.
I was like, there's no way they sold it for 1.3.
No. Yeah.
$1.75 million.
At that time when they tore up the property, we had to do a lot more extensive rehab than what we originally
thought. So you upgraded the house.
So we then at that point basically had to do everything. And we went from doing all new driveway, pulling some trees out, redoing the pool, doing the whole courtyard area, full inside. I did plumbing, electrical,
showers,
AC,
everything.
All 6 bathrooms, the kitchen, the floor.
Holy crap. I mean, you're talking $250,000 rehab.
Yeah. And I, as cheap as possible that I was able to do it, pulling all the strings I possibly could.
What a good partnership this was, huh?
Yeah. And we were able to put right around $250,000, including our holding costs throughout the time period. Costs, yeah. So renovation, it was probably like somewhere around like $200 that we were able to put into it.
Gosh, guys. How freaking awesome is that?
It was great. The deal took a whole year. Like literally November 15th closed on one property to November 15th to 23 close on it again. So we essentially took, and when it came to the renovation, it did take quite a bit of time. We went from February 17th getting into the property, and it wasn't ready until I would say September.
August,
September, so 5-6 months later. And then at that moment we posted on the market. Through that time, we did a few SubTo events.
Nice.
We hosted there that we wanted people to bring to the property so that they could see them and stuff like that. At that time, we had seen you in one of the Tampa trips.
Last year, the SubTo community did $5 billion in transactions, created finance transactions just in one Discord server. That's not including our Facebook group or other places that we connect as a community. You want to join this community? I promise you this interview that you're listening right now has changed one person's life, but it can change your life too. Come in, join the community, go to joinpacescommunity.com. I want to see you in there, and I want to see you in that Discord server exchanging deals with me.
At that time, we had seen you in one of the Tampa trips. We were here telling you about the deal, but we were still like, we hadn't. I
remember I DM'd you and Jerry.
Yeah, we hadn't
Jerry
gone
was like,
fully
just
into
let me
it.
know when you sell it.
Yeah. That was always the trick question. At that moment, it was on the market. We didn't know what we were gonna get. Now our appraisal said 1.3, 1.4. After all that time being on the market, we're like, okay, now all the things we had to do on the property, this has got to be worth more money.
Yeah.
So we actually go and list this property at 1.98. So it was the only unique property that wasn't on a lake. So if I base it off of lake comps, I was probably closer to $3 million. So since it wasn't on the lake, let me put it closer around $2 million. And the only other house would have been like 1.3, 1.4. So we were like in a unique scenario.
Yeah.
No,
you had no idea.
Yeah, no idea.
You were either going to make no money or make a crap ton of money.
Or make a,
all in.
All in.
We were all in on that.
Did your buyer come in with cash and just paid off cash?
Yeah, our buyer came in creatively, to say the least. So essentially, in August, September, we're back on the market. We have this property listed for 45, 50 days. We're doing open houses. We're doing events. We even threw like a white party, invited some of the football players from the Buccaneers. We were trying to get somebody to buy this thing, right? Because the house came out beautiful after it was done. But we essentially on the market for about 45, 50 days. And we're about to take it off because we're like, okay, we got to stage it. Staging's like another 12, 15 grand.
Yeah.
We did virtual staging, but when people walk in, like it's
different.
It was so big that like they, you really wanted to paint the picture.
Yeah, too much empty space for a big house like that. Yeah. Like most of those people want to know like how to disperse it and stuff. So we were going to pull it off the market and just wait till after the holidays were over to put it back on the market. After it was staged, and we had to refinance our balloons and everything like that. So right before we're about to take it off the market, we get a guy that walks through the property. He was like, hey, I'm right up front. Can I tour the place? Okay, yeah. Tours the place. He leaves. My crew is still there doing punch list items. He's like, yeah, some guy was here. He just left. And then we're there now. The guy shows up again, this time with Pops, with his dad. So you could see this guy's coming back twice in the day. He's already bringing his dad to look through it.
Wow.
They talk about it. They like it. Comes back with his wife. This guy in the same day had came
three
to
times.
4 times. Yeah. He lived a little bit around the area on the lake.
Yeah, he was in the house.
Yeah, so he was already in the neighborhood. And he approaches us, and we essentially his first option, or what he was looking to do, was do a trade of houses. He wanted us to get his house on the lake and us give him this house and us come in with more money because his house he had paid $3 million for, and we were trying to sell this one for $2 million. So he wants us to do this deal creatively with him. So we start exploring it. At that point in time, we're like confident, you know, this is creative finance, right? We'll figure out a way to put this to good. We tour his place. We realize it's worth, you know, too much money. Like he's asking too much money for what we can actually get out of it. So the house is a lot less. It was close to like $1,000 a square foot. So it was not appealing to us, but we end up just talking back and forth in negotiations. He hits us at like 155. And we were sitting at 198, and I just dropped down another 50 grand, and I said, I'll go down to 195, you know, and so back and forth. At the end of the day, we get all the way up to a 1.75 purchase price. Now, it was still structured a little creatively because he wanted the purchase price of the property to be 155 and the other 200,000 to come as a loan from his company. Right? And I'm not too particular on why he decided to do it. I think it was just for taxes on his property.
Yeah,
and
smart.
you know, his company was publicly traded, I believe, or he was part of a publicly traded company. So he needed to just basically showcase some of that money as coming as a loan.
Yeah, love it.
So yeah, that's essentially how it was structured. We purchase price of 155 and another $200,000 as a loan.
Yeah.
And the way that worked was he gave us $100,000 at closing and another $100,000 within a year or when his property sells.
Amazing.
So for the total of the 200 extra.
Wow.
And so we're still waiting on that other 100. It's still open.
Guys, that is an insane deal. Now, here's a couple of things I took away from this. It didn't take you a year. It took you actually a lot longer than that, because if you remember the lead that came, you found the lead, you followed up with the guy for a long time before you closed on the thing, right? And people out there in the business are like, "Oh, I want to get rich overnight." Like, this was a deal that will probably take you guys a year and 9 months to get that deal done, all the way done, right? Maybe 2 years, right?
No, it was September, and then we closed on it like a year and 3 months.
Yeah, but you got to wait for your other $100,000, right?
Oh,
so
yeah.
like,
Yeah.
my point is, deals take a long time, and you got to fill the pipeline. You got to make sure that you got lots of deals, lots of opportunities in the pipeline, because some will close in 30 days, some will close in a year, right?
Yeah.
What is your guys' primary way of getting leads today?
We pretty much do, we focus on off-market acquisitions, direct to seller.
My guy.
We have all of that stuff going, and pretty much once a lead comes in, we look at it from every exit avenue.
Yeah.
Starting from pretty much, I learned this from you. So like everything that I've learned, just kind of implemented as a toolbox. So like cash was always there, and then if that doesn't work, going creatively. If that doesn't work, going into a listing.
Love it.
So just really trying to maximize the value of a lead.
Yaddi's our main acquisitions. Like he handles that whole side of it of acquiring off-market properties. Yohan,
And are you guys flipping some of the houses together as well?
Yep.
It's a great partnership.
Yeah.
And we started doing new builds as well.
We
So
each
good,
took
dude.
each one of our roles, like really like Yaddi's great with systems, great with acquisitions. We hired some people underneath us, so we have some closers now. But he's essentially like the sales coach and running the whole acquisitions part.
Started with Start Virtual like 2 years ago.
Love it, dude.
Yohan
Amazing.
does all the dispositions, on-market agent outreach, as well as he does all our listings as well.
What's the name of the company?
Well, there's
There's multiple, but Prime Real Estate Advisors, which is PRIA, it's really like the umbrella.
I love
and then
it.
we have Cardosa Development
The
as
construction
the construction
company,
stuff.
What you guys have done is like vertically integrated everything. Like, you have everything you need. The lead comes in, you can flip it, you can develop it, you can wholesale it, you guys can do creative, you can put it in your portfolio, and you have everything underneath one roof.
Yeah.
Yeah,
That's
and everything
essentially
literally under one roof, to the point where we've partnered with another company that they provide like floorings, they provide countertops, cabinets, and we're all literally sharing like 3 warehouses.
Wow,
in
that's so
Tampa.
good.
It's all within house. Like we basically have our fabricators, and honestly, it's just being open to any kind of opportunities we're able to generate. Just having a way to do it. So we've wholesaled a few creative deals. We've kept a few 0% deals. We've
0% deals?
Yeah, you
we've
helped me get a
listed-
couple percent.
That sounds like a
0%
scam.
deals.
Yeah,
100%
we got a few of
And
them.
call us
but
scammers then.
Yeah, baby.
We've basically just learned your information and started implementing it, even as agents. That's why I said agents aren't bad. Just they're ignorant to some of the information they can get. you know?
Yeah, they're just uneducated. And the challenge is, and this is the good thing, because the ones like you guys that are like, I'm not going to be part of the herd of the 99% of agents that just don't want to learn anything. You guys know just a little bit more. You implement it, This deal, I've never made that much money on a creative deal myself. Like, it's so cool to watch how you guys compound and do cooler things than I've ever been able to do. It's impressive. And the way you guys have structured your partnership, that's even more impressive. And the fact that you got a brotherhood, you guys motivate each other, you keep each other sharp, accountable, consistent. Dude, it's the freaking coolest thing.
We appreciate it.
You guys are having fun.
We are.
Making money, having fun, hang out with your homies.
We are. But it's sharpening up our tool set by finding the information that we don't know. And
what do you guys want to do more of this year? What, as we wrap up, what is the thing you want to do more of now?
I would say our biggest limitation this year is, or our biggest focus this year is focusing on just more private money. Like just like, you know, some of the guys back there were saying, that's really the thing. That's
You want more
limiting
private
us.
money?
Mm-hmm.
You're in SubTo. Like, how is that a problem?
I know,
for you?
but like,
You're just not
purposely
networking
going
with the
more out
people?
there. I try a lot. Like I try most days to go on there and just kind of be like, yo, who needs help today? But it's more, I guess that's mainly focusing more towards like the new people coming in, the newbies, kind of giving them some type of support.
I'll help you guys solve that.
I have something real quick. We
Yeah.
left off a very important part, and one of our biggest hard money, private money lender right now is the seller of that house.
That's true.
yeah,
Oh, I bet he is.
That is true.
he is.
I bet
After
he
the moment after
he
he-
believes in you freaking
Yeah.
guys like nothing else.
Yeah,
after
we
we
went
closed,
through a
he
lot
was
with
like-
him. You know, like
And
through the whole
you
phase.
every time you guys ran into a problem, you showed him that you could solve the problem.
Yeah.
He's getting us in front of other baseball players too. Which
Oh,
is fun.
dude, so
Yeah.
good.
So
Honestly, like the reason that's still one of the limitations we've had is because our off-market acquisitions has been generating a lot of lead flow.
Yeah.
And we find some pretty deep deals. Of course, like me being a general contractor in a house, I get good pricing on what I do, and I'm also able to walk into a place and know within, you know, a couple seconds of being there how much money I'm gonna put into this property. So we're able to find a lot of deals that we have. We've basically redeployed all the money that we had made on that deal and previous deals into a few new builds that we're currently doing,
Nice.
some flips, you know, and stuff
So
like that.
if somebody gave you $5 million today, where would you use that money?
I would have right now. I have maybe 10 or 12 deals in a pipeline that would be ready to use for that capital.
For developing?
Developing.
Okay,
yeah.
sweet.
New construction.
How can people reach
flips
out to you
and
if they have
stuff.
money to give you?
Social media.
Can they hire your construction company as well?
They can. Yeah.
And what city are you guys working in?
Tampa, Florida, St. Pete, pretty much everything around the Central
Dude,
Florida.
that whole
market.
area is just
Florida.
blowing up.
Really
Yeah.
is.
yeah, I got to say that we're pretty impressed with Phoenix. So I can see why you
Oh, yeah.
probably don't leave.
Yeah.
It's great. Awesome, guys. Give it up for these boys. 600. You didn't quit, man. You didn't quit. Freaking love it. Freaking
Well,
awesome.
honestly, all of it has honestly been thanks to you. To be
No,
honest.
come on, dude.
To
You
you,
guys-
to the community.
Yeah.
After that, we've done deals with like many of the community members.
So
It's
great.
been amazing.
That's my favorite thing to ever hear is that people are doing deals together, making money together, and you guys are collaborating and helping other people, which is
There's-
so freaking awesome.
absolutely no other membership, no other anything in the world. That
It's
would relate
because
to that.
it's because I'm not the one leading the thing. We are all leading it, and that's the thing is like no one person is the most important person. We all are helping build the thing, and you can go into Tampa and you got the three amigos. You go to freaking North Dakota, you got other people that are willing to help you out. I got a guy in Fargo, North Dakota. I'm like, nobody's up there doing deals. He's like, no, I've made like $1.5 million this year just doing deals with other people in North Dakota.
Wow.
Jeez.
Guys, thank you for coming on the show.
No, thank you
you
for
for
having
having
us.
Thank you for having us.
This is a dream come true.
Appreciate you guys. Appreciate you.